Isatuximab is a CD38 targeting antibody, which is very of great interest because not only has it demonstrated single agent activity as a monotherapy, but in combination we saw excellent safety and at the same time a very substantial activity in relapsed refractory myeloma. In fact, in our phase 1b trial, the median progression-free survival for our patients was in excess of 17 months, which for such a sick population is very encouraging. And that, combined with some important aspects of its preclinical profile, where it has potent activity in what we call the ectoenzymic pathway, it targets apoptosis, and at the same time it has less complement activation, making it perhaps easier to administer. This has led to a very strong rationale for bringing it into the randomized phase 3 setting. And this is the first trial of its kind in this setting where we've compared a CD38 targeting antibody with pomalidomide and dexamethasone as a phase 3 trial in relapsed refractory myeloma compared to control, which is pomalidomide and dexamethasone. And what we're very pleased to see is that the 3-drug combination outperformed the control group dramatically in terms of doubling the progression-free survival, doubling the response rate, doubling the quality of response, and engendering also an MRD negative rate by what we call next generation sequencing that was encouraging in a relapse refractory setting compared to 0 for the patients receiving pomalidomide and dexamethasone. For our patients who received pomalidomide and dexamethasone, about half of them, when their disease worsened, went on to daratumumab based therapy, which is obviously good news because it meant that they obviously were able to go on to CD38 based treatment. Interestingly though, when you look at survival, there's a trend in favor of the 3 drugs. So what this suggests is keeping your daratumumab or keeping your isatuximab in reserve doesn't make sense. That in this situation of relapsed refractory disease, you need to use your best options earlier rather than later. And finally, we did build in some other secondary endpoints, including time to next therapy, and that was strikingly in favor of the 3 over the 2, which is important for patients clinically. And I think one of the nicest things in the study was we looked comprehensively at safety and quality of life. And again, no new safety signals that were a concern, a little bit of neutropenia, which we obviously managed with GCF of support. Like all the antibodies, you have to be careful about chest infections. But the good news was in terms of the quality of life, there was no loss of quality of life or detriment to the quality of life measures by the use of the 3 drugs versus the 2.